All right, President Trump, meanwhile, heading for North Carolina later today after a fierce back-and-forth feud with those four progressive congresswomen. The House voting to condemn the president's attacks on them as one Democrat introduces articles of impeachment against the president. Here's Congressman Jim Jordan on Capitol Hill on all the chaos last night.
Democrats aren't going to stop. I mean, they're so focused on going after this president, so focused on actually getting to impeachment, I believe, that they're not going to stop at anything, even if it means breaking the rules on the House floor, where there's a certain level of decorum that you must maintain. They're solely focused on doing whatever they can to stop this president, instead of, frankly, working on what can help the country.
Let's bring in Ronna McDaniel, Chairwoman of the Republican National Committee. Ronna, good morning. Nice to see you. I'm sure you're watching this back and forth, and you're in the middle of it. Do you wish this hadn't happened, or is this a strategy that's working for the president?
I think anytime the president can call out members of Congress who are saying abolish ICE, comparing our men and women who serve on the border to Nazis, who are equating America with al-Qaeda. So many of the things that have come out of the mouths of these four freshman congresswomen is offensive. It is anti-American. And the president is saying, listen, I love our country. We should all love our country. Let's work together to make our lives better for Americans. And the president's going to do that every single day. He's going to North Carolina, where he gets to say, since I've been president, we've added 175,000 jobs in North Carolina, 6,200 a month. Wages are up. Jobs are coming back to this country. Unemployment at the lowest level for the Hispanic and African-American communities. The president's delivering. They're going to continue to double down on divisive rhetoric, and he's going to talk about how we're making America great again.
But the point is, a few days ago, the divisive rhetoric was within the Democratic Party, Ronna. I mean, those four Democratic congresswomen were having at it with Nancy Pelosi. And then the president tweeted this, and the conversation then became about him. And then it was these Democrats against the president. And it was no longer this feud with Nancy Pelosi and members of her own party. Is that...
Well,
Go ahead.
The Democrat Party is now a socialist party, and these four women have become the de facto speakers of the Democrat House. I mean, that's the fact. And so he's saying, do you want socialism, or do you want what we're delivering with higher jobs, higher wages, more jobs, a strong economy? I mean, it is a very clear choice. And Nancy Pelosi, with what she did yesterday, basically said, I'm going to bring votes to the floor that will divide our country, but I'm not going to pass USMCA that's going to bring more manufacturing jobs. I'm not going to get anything done on a policy level that's going to help the American people. But yeah, I'll double down on division and going after this president, which they've done since day one. And by the way, 80 times Democrats have voted no for humanitarian aid for the border. 80 times Democrats have voted no. So they can talk all they want. They're not getting anything done except their ongoing, never-ending temper tantrum and war against President Trump.
Well, they appeared in an interview on CBS this morning, and they were asked very specifically about meeting with Nancy Pelosi and how this goes forward, and here's some of that.
Just as there were members of Congress that did not vote for the speaker on the House floor the day of our swearing in, just as there are members who challenge her conclusions, who disagree with her, so do we from time to time. But that does not mean that there is a fundamental fracture or a dehumanizing.
Is she, according to you, being disrespectful to women of color because of your color, or because she doesn't like your policies or the tactics that you all are taking to make your point?
Right, and I'll clarify. I did not say that she was disrespectful of women of color. I found some of the comments disrespectful, and that was my personal opinion.
Okay.
And I did feel that singling out on the basis of one vote was creating an opening. But that doesn't mean that we fundamentally disagree.
What was your takeaway from that, Ronna?
Well, I think they're trying to sugarcoat a division within their party, but make no mistake, the leaders of the Democrat Party are now AOC and these other freshman congresswomen who are pushing a radical progressive agenda that will totally reshape the United States of America. And we're going to fight it in every state. The president has said America will never be a socialist nation, and that is what the Democrat Party is now pushing.
While the president is engaged in this back and forth, and we'll wait to see what we hear from him later today with those 4 Democratic congresswomen, the approval rating for the president among women is down, Ronna. And I know that the Trump campaign is launching this initiative to court female voters. How do you do it? How do you win over the female vote?
Well, we had a great event yesterday in Pennsylvania with thousands of women showing up, probably more than any Democrat candidate running for president showed up for this rally, and it was strong. Listen, women right now can't vote, but they can vote with their pocketbook, and over 50% of the small dollar donations coming to the Trump campaign are from women. That's more than any other Democrat. So we are seeing momentum with women across the country, and women do care about health care, they care about the economy, and they know that under this president, things are getting done at every single level. They care about our military. They care about our veterans. We are whole issue voters. And when the president goes to them in November of 2020 and he says, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? Women are going to look at their lives and they're going to say, yes, I am, and they're going to vote for him.
But what you do hear, Ronna, and I didn't want to know more about those campaign fundraising numbers, what you hear from some women, and I know you've heard this, is that even among the president's supporters, female supporters, some question his rhetoric and wish sometimes that he didn't tweet the things that he did, Ronna. And I just wonder if the president has any plan as we move towards 2020 to change any of that.
Well, the president has delivered. I mean, he made promises on the campaign trail, and now he can go back to women voters, male voters, voters of every ethnicity and say, I ran on these things, and guess what? Your unemployment for women is at a 60-year low. For Hispanics and African Americans, it's at an all-time low. I mean, this is the thing that's disconcerting about the media. They want to focus on the tweeting and the rhetoric, but American voters across the country, they're interested on the policy and how it's affecting their lives. And Americans across this country aren't interested in the Beltway. They recognize that their lives are better, their wages are up, jobs are coming back, their families are doing better, and that is because of President Trump. And then they know the Democrats have delivered a big, giant goose egg.
I got to leave it there,
because they've done nothing.
I know the fundraising numbers are up, the headlines are out there. GOP mega donors pour money into Trump campaign. Record-shattering fundraising numbers. Final thoughts. I've got 2 seconds left, Ronna.
We're raising record dollars. We're in these states, but I will tell you the enthusiasm is at an all-time high, and we're going to see it again in North Carolina when the president goes to his rally tonight.
All right. Those are big numbers. Ronna McDaniel, thank you.